Good evening. I'd like to welcome all of you to our 68th Annual Edgar Awards banquet. Yes. My name's Ted Hurdle. I am currently the Executive Vice President for Mystery Writers of America, and I'm delighted to see such a large and enthusiastic crowd here this evening. We've got a distinguished group of writers, editors, agents, publicists, publishers, and fans with us this evening. And it is such a pleasure to have a group like that come out for a ceremony such as this. Amazing events like this one do not happen by themselves. This evening, as I'm sure you all would suspect, requires a lot of hard work, a lot of planning, and a lot of effort to bring off an event of this nature. This banquet, this award ceremony would not be possible without the dedicated work of our volunteers. It would not be possible without all of them coming together to put this event together. Okay. Sorry. You try to memorize things and sometimes you forget a word or you add one again. Anyway, so what I'm up here to do at this point is to, first of all, recognize these people that I've been mentioning, the people who have done everything for the benefit of you this evening. Our banquet wouldn't exist if it were not for our wonderful Edgar Week chairs, Chris Monty and Kelly Nichols. Not only do they do this together, but they write together under the name P.J. Parrish. And I also have to give a tip of the hat to them, to both Kelly and Chris, one more time, for the terrific video presentations that they have put together for us to enjoy this evening. They'll keep us entertained, they'll keep us informed, and they put in a lot of effort to get those done. I want to list some of our other Edgar Week volunteers as well: Claire Toohey, Laura Curtis, Bonnie Clayson, Joe, I apologize. Guglielmelli. I really apologize. I apologize for that, Joe. Joe Guglielmelli, one more time. All right, thanks. I'll buy you a drink later, Joe. Just see me. Others include Keith Buckler, Sue Wilder, and Steve Flax. A special thanks to Jess Lowry, who put together that incredibly gorgeous Edgar annual that's in the bag that some of you might be sitting on at this point. Just pull that out and look at it. I think you'll marvel at the cover as well as the contents. I want to give thanks to my predecessor in this office, my friend Dan Hale, who was also involved in this. He unfortunately could not be with us this evening. I want to thank MWA's immediate past president, and that's the outstanding Charlene Harris. Charlene, thank you so much. Thank you. And of course, I want to thank our current president, Brad Meltzer, who is sitting here. Brad has just been an amazing person to work with and to have heading up this organization. So, Brad, thank you. Thank you again so much. I want to thank all of the hardworking members of MWA's Board of Directors. They work tirelessly throughout the year, not only on the board, but we have any number of committees that they serve on as well. It's time-consuming work, but they love doing it. Okay, maybe not, but they do. I think most of them really enjoy the work. I have to thank our fabulous publishers who are here this evening. And let me ask you this, where would we be without those publishers? So thank you to them. And of course, I want to thank all of our members. Your support is invaluable to us on the board, and you give us the reason to carry on with the duties that we do. So thanks to the members of MWA. I want to thank the staff of the Grand Hyatt who have put this banquet together. They have worked very hard with us to make this event the success it is. So let's give them some applause as well. And of course, I'm saving some of my deepest thanks for our administrative director, the kid in the office, Marjorie Flax. Marjorie is wonderful. She is hardworking. I just enjoy so much working with her. She keeps me on my toes. She keeps the whole board on their toes. And it's a pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure, Marjorie. Finally, I want to thank my wife, Maggie, who's sitting here, for her encouragement, for her support, for her love, and also for not killing me because I'm putting in so much time on MWA activities. So thanks, Meg. I really appreciate it, and I love you. At this point, it is my absolute pleasure to introduce the 2014 Edgar Awards Chair, my longtime friend, Marsha Talley, who's sitting here. So, Marsha, if you would come up.
Good evening, everybody. I'm losing my voice, so the 20-minute speech is out the window. Sorry about that. But I'm, applause, yes. I'm honored to be here tonight. It was an honor and a privilege to serve as the General Awards Chair. But I want to take time to thank especially all of the judges this year, particularly my committee chairs, for carving out time from their writing schedule to read all of the wonderful books, short stories, watch all the television shows that came out this year. It's a wonderful, it's a rewarding job, but it's really time-consuming. I hope you'll take time to read the bios of all the judges that are in your program book, and you'll see one of the things that strikes me every year is that the Edgar is so special because it's an award from your peers. And when you read the bios of all of these wonderful judges, you'll see what a stellar group it is. So I thank you, and I want, before we continue on and get on with what we really want to know tonight is who's going to go on with one of those little guys sitting on the table over there. I wanted to take a moment to toast all of the nominees and break a leg. Thank you.
At this time, they've asked me to announce that we have a special announcement from Andy Martin, who is the Vice President of Minotaur. So, Andy, if you would come forward at this time. Hi. Thanks,
Andy. Sure. Good evening. Tonight marks the 6th year of the Minotaur Books MWA Writing Competition. And even though winning a crowded competition is not easy, I think we can all agree that writing the winning novel is even harder. And I wanted to find some encouraging words about writing from writers. But in fact, many of the world's best writers don't seem to be terribly encouraging. For instance, F. Scott Fitzgerald said, "All good writing is swimming underwater and holding your breath." E.B. White said, "Writing is hard and bad for the health." P.J. O'Rourke says, "Writing is agony, I hate it." And then there was Lillian Hellman, who said, "If I had to give young writers advice, I would say don't listen to writers talking about writing or themselves." So I decided that my message to our newest competition winner is if you want to be a crime writer, just listen to Raymond Chandler, who famously said, "When in doubt, have two guys come through the door with guns." So the successful writing of one's first crime novel is what this competition is all about. It's a recognition of achievement, the discovery of a new mystery voice, and the reward of publication. To get there, you need a lot of support, and that came by way of 5 overworked judges who pored over nearly 350 manuscript submissions to decide on the final nominees. The judges this year were Reese Bowen, Kelly Stanley, Dan Stashauer, Hannah Dennison, and Mary Stanton. Thank you all very much for your work. 10 manuscripts made it into the final round of competition, and Minotaur editorial director Kelly Ragland selected our winner tonight, who will be awarded a publishing contract, complete with a $10,000 advance, and of course this personalized, jagged piece of acrylic made to look like the finest crystal. The 2014 winning first crime novel is set in San Francisco, where a woman witnesses a man fall to his death from a window. The police don't believe the fall was an accident, and the more they learn about the woman's secretive life, the more it looks like she had a motive to kill him. Our winning author grew up in England and then moved several times around the U.S. before finally settling in San Francisco, where she's lived for 20 years. She's worked as a journalist, a public relations director, and a fundraiser for schools and nonprofit organizations. The Man on the Washing Machine is her first novel. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the 2014 MWA Minotaur Books First Crime Novel Competition winner, Sue Cox.
Finally, and I know you'll be glad to hear that word, it is now my privilege to introduce our immediate past president, a wonderful writer and an even more wonderful person, someone that I am proud to call my friend, Charlaine Harris.
It's no secret that I really enjoyed my year of being president of Mystery Writers of America. I love the pomp and circumstance. I love the singing and dancing ceremony orchestrated by Reed Farrell Coleman at all my personal appearances. I love the traditional offerings of wine and chocolate offered up by fellow members. It was a huge blow when the calendar turned to 2014 and Marjorie Flax broke the news that I had not been elected president for life. After a brief collapse, I dried my tears and began planning how to choose my successor. The second blow fell. Dan Hale told me I didn't get to appoint my successor. So I began to plot how to engineer the election of the next president. I've learned a lot about plotting and political maneuvering from Game of Thrones. I was all ready to enlist ruthless swordsmen and dragons. To my dismay, instead of a power-mad Lannister, the membership of MWA decided to elect a really nice and able guy, Brad Meltzer. Brad is so nice that he states as his goal reminding people of the power and potential within themselves. Really? Even the mild-mannered Carolyn Hart has killed dozens of people, to say nothing of Bob Craze. I don't know how we will manage to keep our reputation as a gang of the most ruthless killers in America, at least on paper, with someone like Brad as our leader. We may get relegated to the inspirational section. Instead of a raven, our symbol may be the butterfly or a dolphin. MWA members, what were you thinking? In a more serious vein, as I like to say, I think the board and president for 2014 will continue the sure course established in the past few years. In my experience, MWA is the least drama-prone professional organization of all. I don't think that's from any lack of passion or opinion. We have plenty. I think we now have a record of civility and consideration, and I know under Brad this will continue. Brad is thoughtful and talented, and those talents are diverse. He writes for children and adults. He has a television show. His website has one of the most interesting film talks I've ever seen on how to make your own obituary shine. And Brad informs me he has ninja assassin abilities, and he can skip rope. I think Brad is going to be a great and memorable president for us all.
Can we just first hear it for the best, right? President Harris, as we call her. Let's hear it for her. I do want to thank Charlene. She is just one of the nicest people around, and she told me if I didn't say that, she would gut me like a fish. Don't trust a Southerner with red hair, people. I want to paraphrase. I'll save my thank yous for after when we actually start the awards, but I want to paraphrase my father. May he rest in peace, who used to watch the Oscars and say, "Why the F are they still talking? I want to go to bed." And with that said, I'm not going to say anything because people, we want to get out of here early tonight, right? Let's be honest. And so I just want to say thank you. I'll save the bigger thank yous for later, but thank you for coming tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to move this along real quick so we can all have even more fun. Thanks so much.